station that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
New developments in a state investigation into how Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis spent nearly $20,000 in campaign funds. How the mayor is now responding straight ahead.
But first up, with just a little more than a month until Masters, plans for some of the biggest concert performances of that week are now on hold.
Stars like Blake Shelton, Tim McGraw, Nelly, Pitbull, and Jimmy Buffett all expected at a series of concerts at Lake Olmsted Stadium, but now that show's on pause after they found some structural problems at the stadium.
Claire Allen is there to give us a look around.
XPR Augusta spokespersons say that it's not the stadium itself that's the problem, but it's the ground where the stage is supposed to be set.
You know, it's just part of the growing pains of trying to reutilize an existing property.
With Masters Week approaching fast, concert plans at Lake Olmsted halt as XPR Augusta works to figure out the next plans.
You're talking about an issue with the grounds. You know, they're trying to set up a stage and the stage is sinking, so obviously they had to stop.
By the looks of it, there is still a lot to do, and time is running out.
I was looking forward to a new event during Masters, so to hear this news yesterday was definitely disappointing.
Commissioner Brendan Garrett says he hopes it can be turned around.
Hopefully they're able to address what the issue is, whether it's reinforcing the ground or finding a different way to set the stage up and we're able to proceed. You know, this is just one of those turn of events where you're trying to utilize an older property, and you know, the stage that's being set up there is bigger than anything that's ever been there.
In Augusta, Claire Allen, on your side.
Oh, disappointing, but as of now, those concerts are not canceled. Organizers say if the event is called off, they are prepared to refund everyone who's already bought a ticket.
To weather now, and it is really starting to look like spring out there. We're getting a look.
80s. Take a look at the possibility of some record highs later this weekend in just a little bit.
Riley, thanks. A motion to recall an Augusta commissioner is denied. We were there as the Richmond County Board of Elections held a special meeting today considering that recall application against District 3 Commissioner Catherine Smith McKnight. The application needed 100 signatures. It only had 92 they deemed valid. The board unanimously deciding the application lacked legal sufficiency. A new response tonight from Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis about a state ethics investigation into how he spent nearly thousands of dollars in campaign funds.
And this is a copy of his 42-page-long response to the Ethics Commission. This is the complaint that was filed last month, and the complaint accuses the mayor of never filing documents to disclose a total of $10,000 in campaign contributions and not properly disclosing $6,000 in campaign funds. It also alleges the mayor improperly used more than $3,000 dollars worth of campaign funds on everything from credit card payments to Starbucks, ESPN Plus subscriptions, so a lot to unpack. We have News 12's Kennedy Harris live now in our newsroom. And Kennedy, in response, the mayor says some of the purchases, those were errors.
Yeah, that's right, Laura. In the responses, Mayor Davis's attorney chopped some of his credit card purchases up to being auto pay errors. He also denies improperly disclosing where he got more than $10,000 for the campaign.
The State Ethics Commission dug into Mayor Hardy Davis' pockets again back in February, and now he's shutting down those allegations.
I will say this. Every dollar of money that is received by a campaign needs to be clearly and accurately disclosed on the election reports.
The complaint alleges the mayor improperly used more than $3,000 in campaign funds. I spoke to attorney Jack Long about what campaign filing requirements are all about and why this could be serious. In the response, the mayor's attorney, Ed Tarver, writes the reason for more than $2,000 in unspecified credit card purchases and more than $400 on things including LinkedIn were for fulfillment of his elected office. It doesn't go into detail about what the credit card charges were for.
So it really depends on the nature of the purchase, right? I mean, you have to look at the core of whether it's predominantly a personal expenditure or a campaign expenditure. What's the real reason for the expense?
But Long says it gets harder to defend seemingly personal expenses. Davis doesn't deny two purchases, like the $20 ESPN Plus charge and a $30 health app subscription. But he says they were just errors that occurred during the auto pay process.
Once you receive funds, you can either spend it on legitimate campaign uses, you can give it to another campaign, you can give it to a charity, or you can refund it to the people that gave it to you.
Long says in his experience, any ethics investigation is serious and it could last years, even after a candidate is out of office.
they have the power to sanction certain election officials, make them unfile disclosures, and issue fines.
And when it comes to the complaint alleging he did not properly disclose $6,000 in campaign funds, he denied that, and he also denied that he never disclosed how he received another $10,000 in funding.
All right, thanks for that. And we did reach out to Mayor Davis's attorney for more information on why they denied those claims. He wasn't able to answer those questions today and says he will get back with us on Monday. Riley?
Heading into the weekend, looking to be warmer for Saturday, seeing highs back into the low 80s and possibly record highs by Sunday. We'll talk about in the full forecast next.
Plus, you may know her name and her face, but now we're hearing her story. How local realtor and broker Venus Morris Griffin turned pain into purpose, and how she's inspiring millions of others to do the same.
Time and Temp, brought to you by Jamie
Experience Grammy-nominated global music sensation Celtic Woman on their all-new tour, Postcards from Ireland, March 8th, Bell Auditorium. Tickets on sale now at AugustaBroadway.com.
Are you serious about buying or selling your home? So am I. I'm Venus Morris Griffin, Vice President and Associate Broker at Maybaum Real Estate. Call or visit my website at venusgriffin.com and let's find your dream home today.
Well, it is March with sound of our name.
You've probably seen her billboard, but tonight we're getting to know the woman behind the V.
Venus Morris Griffin is a local realtor and broker in Augusta, going viral for sharing her story on a popular social media channel. Our Celeste Springer sat down with her today to hear about her life journey firsthand.
Venus is making headlines after telling her story on social media by the popular page Humans of New York. Combined, the Instagram posts here, all 13 of them, make up for over 3 million likes, and this was just posted yesterday. Tonight we're sharing her rise to success after she and her family rose above adversity.
Behind every roadside V is the face of Venus Morris Griffin. But through this smile is a woman with a story.
You know, people ask me daily, how do you forgive your ex-husband?
She learned he molested a family member. She divorced her husband and began to rebuild from the ground up for her kids.
I don't know what our future looks like, but I'm your mother, and I'm going to do everything I can to take care of you, and we're not going to go down.
And she kept her promise of not going down. Instead, over the years, a single letter began to rise over Augusta. Venus attributes her success not only to her drive, but also her faith in God. She calls what she and her kids went through her cross to carry.
We have the tools to be successful independently. And that's what I hope to do, is help other women especially know that with hard work and God and determination, that you can get through anything.
She began speaking at conferences and on podcasts to share her story and help other women. It's what ultimately landed her on the radar of Brandon Stanton behind Humans of New York. Millions of likes and shares, all starting with a V, her first initial, but also maybe V for victory.
There was an incredible amount of detail and work that went into Venus's story as it was shared by Humans of New York. If you'd like to read the full thing for yourself, we'll have it linked on our website, wrdw.com.
You will be on the edge of your seat after the first post. Just an incredible story.
It reads like a novel, because it is a novel. She's just getting ready to publish her first book. It's called Validated, so we'll be watching for that to come out as well. But she's become the voice of hope for a lot of women around the world dealing with some hard times.
Inspirational speaker, and she's right here from Augusta, Georgia.
Can a movie be far behind?
I hope not. We all are ready to see that movie. We've already cast Reese Witherspoon.
Reese, if you're watching, this is your film to produce and to star in. Just for the record, we wanted to say it on the air. Right?
Yes, we had the idea first. Thank you.
Riley?
Hey, beautiful day out there, guys. We're looking at nice 60s with rain chances by next Wednesday.
All right, Riley, thanks a lot. Still to come. It is that time of year. You might see smoke like this filling our skies, but these burns are under control. Riley's next to show us why they're so important right here in the two-state.
And coming up in sports, high school playoff action on both sides of the river. We'll take you to Aiken and Milledgeville after the break.
The Live by Camera Net. On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hog Law Group.
And it is a heartbreaking end to an incredible season for the girls basketball team at Denmark Olar High.
The girls made it all the way to the state championship, playing for the title today in Aiken. It It was such a close game, the girls losing by 15 points, but as our Will Rio shows us, there's still plenty to celebrate.
Yeah, that's right. This time 4 years ago, the seniors on this team went 1-19 their freshman year. They've truly started at the bottom and made it all the way to the top. The community definitely came out for this historic game.
It was standing room only at USC Aiken.
It's real big for our community.
Literal busloads of fans unloaded to see their girls compete for their first state title.
That's Denmark Ola for you, man. The town of Denmark really supports our athletics, our student athletes, and they come out full force.
They're calling themselves the Comeback Kids.
Our women's team has set the standard for our athletics at Denmark Ola.
It's big for our seniors because they've been here through it all. They was here when we was 1-19. And now we're here for the state championship games.
For fourth-year head coach Terrence Jones, it's been a roller coaster ride so far.
It's been an amazing journey. I started off from being a rec league coach and being assistant coaches at a couple other schools, and I finally got my opportunity to become a head coach, and I'm just making the most out of it.
And the community is backing him up.
It means everything. Those girls started out 1-19 as freshmen. They took their lumps. Now it's time to get on the other side of the rainbow.
And the fans wanted everyone to remember one last thing.
Go Vikings! Go Vikings! Go Vikings! All I would say is, go Vikings!
Yeah, and lots of sad faces out there after the game, but Coach Jones says they'll be back. And state semifinals are in full swing on our Georgia side. Let's send things out to Sports Director Nick Proto at Georgia College in Milledgeville with how our Peach State teams are doing.
Thanks, Will. 3 Augusta teams here in semifinal action at Georgia College today. We'll start with the West Side boys who just finished up their game a few minutes ago. The 2A Region 4 champs looking for a state championship berth, taking on Northeast out of Macon. Play of the day from J-Lex Ewing, throwing it down over the defender. Juniors in high school should not be able to do that. This was the Kaylon Hudson show today. Watch this sequence. Gets the huge block on the fast break. Great hustle play there. Then coming the other way, Ewing misses the 3, but guess who? Hudson gets the putback and one. Fired up, and for good reason. Westside was beating down Northeast. A cool highlight here for Northeast, though. Travion Solomon beats the halftime buzzer with a half-court shot. The second half, Northeast did mount a little comeback, but the Patriots held on in this one, dominating in all facets from start to finish. Westside punching their ticket to the state championship.
Definitely blessed, man. To God be the glory. I mean, right now, to be back in this position here, it took a lot of work, and you kind of understand the ingredients, but you got to stay spiritually grounded.
Westside will take on the winner of Butler and Woodville Tompkins in the championship Thursday at 3 o'clock. The Josie girls continue their title defense against Elbert County. The Eagles erased a double-digit deficit against this team last year in the quarterfinals, and they found themselves facing a similar hole today. It was one of those days where everything that could go wrong did go wrong for Josie. Elbert County's duo of Anaya Allen and Nia Moon were too much for the Eagles, and Josie's season ends with a 56-40 loss.
I'll be honest with you, man. To get here and get this far, playing against some really hungry teams in the playoffs, we ran into one today that was extremely hungry to beat us and extremely hungry to get to the top of that hill. And, just proud of this team, for the way they competed throughout the season. And even with today's loss, they did a great job.
So Augusta splits the first 2 games today with the Butler boys still coming up. We'll have the results from that one coming up here on News 12 at 11 o'clock. Reporting from Georgia College in Milledgeville, Nick Proto on your side.
And a great run just to make it this far. Nick, thanks so much. You might have seen these pictures making the rounds on social media this week showing a huge prescribed burn at Savannah Riverside. This was on Tuesday.
Yeah, not all burns are this big, but we do see a lot of them this time of year. And our own Riley Hale's here to tell us why they're so important.